Hey, this is Jesse James here at Evansville Harley-Davidson. Today we're going to spill a lot of beans, like enough where you can make a pretty big pot of baked beans. Very cheesy joke. So, I wanted to talk today about the CVO ST just because there is so much conversation going on right now about the CVO RR. The CVO RR is stupid cool. I think it's a lot of proof of concept, but the reality of it is it's $6,000 bike. Like, that's not something that a lot of us are ever going to be able to have in our garage and let alone touch, especially with 131 only being made worldwide. Like, I love that. I can't wait to see what parts come into the overall catalog for us to put on our bikes. But I want to talk about this bike a little bit. This is a 2024 CVO ST in the Raven Metallic. One of the cool things with this bike that I didn't really think about until this year came along is the CVO, so that means like this was a one-year color. So not only was it getting just 25th anniversary badging, but the Raven Metallic, it's become kind of hot. It's one of those things, you know, you tell me I can't have anything anymore, now I want it like twice as bad. Even though I kind of like the current colors, but this was a cool color, man. Like, it was, you're putting a bike where it's a flat track look, put a little bit of metal flake in there so it pops some. It's a real throwback to the racing season of, I believe it was 2021 or 2022, I believe. Please tell me I'm wrong in the comments below. Of whenever, for King of the Baggers, Kyle Wyman actually won the championship. So I like that. And then, of course, like the paint and everything was a very big throwback to that setup. But for this color, I'm gonna miss this setup. But for talking over on the CVO RR and doing the comparisons, one of the big things they bring up a lot in that is they were building that bike with uncompromising quality. That's what they were going for. They bring it up again and again, uncompromising. Sadly, uncompromising usually comes with a very big price tag. Like, for the swing arm on that bike, you're talking 12 hours just to make it for a dude just sitting there. That's a lot of time for one piece of the bike. If you have not ridden on one of these bikes, the CVO ST, trust me, this is a very impressive bike. So whenever this new platform was coming out in 2024, I was the one that got to go meet the engineers and everything down in Tampa and learn about these bikes. So we had somebody here at the shop that knew what was going on before they got there. And one of the things that whenever they were talking about CVO ST was the fact that they wanted to shake stuff up. They wanted to do something cool. And so they kind of just sent a Road Glide over to the race team and said, hey, build a CVO. And then that's how we got the CVO ST. Now I'm gonna go a little conspiracy theorist on you. I don't think this was their first take. I think their first take was the CVO RR. I think whenever they came back with that original one where it was like, oh, this is everything we want to do, they were like, that's too much for what we're looking for here. And so they went and trimmed down some stuff, still made a very impressive motorcycle, but to where we could get it easier on the CVO platform at the CVO price point. Still very impressive bike, and you're still having a lot of performance features on this. Like, anybody that's in the sport bike world, you can look at those rotors and you know that that's a more impressive rotors over what's been before. That's the top of the line Brembo braking. It's not just the Brembo braking with the Harley-Davidson bar and shield. That is top of the line from Brembo there. And then for those brake calipers, since it's got that little fish setup on it, I call them fish, other people call them vented. That's a racing caliper, so you're going to be dissipating heat a lot better, and then you're going to be able to take off without overheating. Whenever you pair that with its track mode, the track mode, which is, it's a copy and pasted over from Kyle Wyman's race bike over to the CVO ST. Like, for all intents and purposes, when I sell one of these bikes, I've had to say, please use track mode responsibly. Please only use track mode on the track, because it makes this bike take off. You're gonna want the performance braking on that for that setup, because the engine mapping and everything is a lot like that track mode. Very, very similar. It's probably watered down to some degree because, you know, 131 R motor versus a 121 high output. But shoot, even that 121 high output, the reason they didn't want to put a VVT cam in this bike was because they didn't want the engine firing the most fuel efficient way possible every single time. They wanted it to be firing as hard as possible every single time to really give you that back of your seat feel as you're riding on it. And it's got it. Like, you know how many people that I had sold either Road Glides 2 in 2023 before the change up, or CVO Road Glides in 23, where they were like, oh, I wish I'd waited for the CVO ST. Well, okay, I heard it a lot, and I actually heard it from my general manager. He's definitely happy with it now, but he was definitely upset for a little bit. But that's how impressive this bike is. If you haven't, like, please come and ride on one of these bikes, because it is so much fun. It rides like all the fun and power of a Softail, but on a touring bike. Like, this thing still can go cross country. The suspension across it too. It feels like you're riding on a cloud. And I'm very articulate with my words, and I can't describe how comfortable it is on that. And mind you, it's not built for comfort either. That's built for going hard into the twisties and staying incredibly planted the entire time, which is nuts. The carbon fiber, I can kind of take it or leave it personally, but I also never got on the carbon fiber craze. I was never, it's kind of just whatever to me. Regardless of if it's the mesh style that we see here on the CVO ST, or the more lace trim setup that we see like in most of your friends' Honda Civics with the spoilers, that carbon fiber, I'm not crazy about it myself. Now, I promised you a juicy secret, as it were. Here's the juicy secret. So, for the CVO ST specifically, because the motor company is like, okay, we understand not everybody can do CVO RR, and you're watching this video, depending on like the date of it, today is the 27th of March. Yeah, thank you. It is the 27th of March. So if you're watching this very close, you're probably one of the first people to hear this. On the CVO ST, whether it's a 24 or a 25, because some of the parts that are in the CVO RR are going to be made available in the parts and accessories catalog for this bike specifically, through Harley-Davidson Financial, also known as Eagle Mark, you can finance up to, I think, what, 100%, 120, some big number. Basically, you can finance a lot of those parts onto this bike. And if there's stuff on the CVO RR, like the pommel, I'm not crazy about the pommel myself. I don't want the pommel. I don't want to pay for the pommel. Don't put the pommel on your CVO ST. But I do like the suspension. I do like the bigger engine. I do like the increase of the swing arm, as I mentioned earlier. Super cool to me. All that can be added to this bike through the parts and accessories catalog, through Eagle Mark financing. So you can make a CVO ST as close to a CVO RR as you want it to be. So that's the secret. I promised you a secret. Now you got it. Come down, ride on one of these CVO STs here at Evansville Harley-Davidson and talk to me, Jesse James. You're going to have a good time riding.